Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round one. This would be the match between Morally Conflicted and GG Jersey Shore.
And this was unfortunately a game we were unable to cast because, well, we can only cast one game at a time, and these games have to go on simultaneously, or they're just gonna take forever. So,
Yes, and on one side we do have the players Dough Yogurt, Fullmetal Panic, Zeepak, Navajo, Buffalo, and Timeless Flamer. On the other side we have Pudgy Gerbil, who I've heard is actually really good.
I'm expecting a lot from this Nidalee. Every chance I checked the chat while we were casting the other games, I heard something being said about this Nidalee. I am expecting great things from this Nidalee.
We'll see how good Pudgy is. We do have Oreo Yum Yums on Tarek, and Oreo has actually been really fun to talk with in chat. Always had a good story to tell us. Whoopaloopu had to leave for like 15 minutes to get his car. That's all I remember him. Crystal Soul and Palindrome. Paladin?
Pa
Palodine?
Paladodin?
Palododin?
Paladodin, I guess. I don't know. We'll just call him Paladin. It's easier.
We shall call him Paladin. Not to be confused with Dodo Bird, even though they're both extinct.
How would you ever confuse Paladin with Dodo Bird? Like, how does that even work?
You'd be surprised.
Well, let's see. No crazy invasions going on, just very standard opening paths. We do see a ward being dropped in the river by Red Team, as well as traps being thrown down by Caitlyn and the bush sitting behind Red Buff.
It's very standard affair right now, you know, helping leash to little wraiths and big wraith.
Yep. Xin Zhao taking wolves, getting some help from Nidalee. Not a whole lot of help from Jax.
Not a whole lot of help from Nidalee either.
Too afraid of taking something, I guess.
It could
Mundo
be
gonna
that.
take his red. Xin
I
Zhao
do
gonna
like
take his blue.
I do like the fact that Zenzel started with 3 talent strike though.
Yeah, that actually gives him a little bit of damage, and I believe it also increases his attack speed while it's active.
That's correct.
And gives him a little bit of CC, so he'll take a little bit less damage.
It's a very good thing. The knockup especially.
I admit I have not seen that much Xin jungle, so I don't know how good that is versus other starts. So
It's actually favored because if you go 3 talent strike first, like say they try to invade you, then you do have something that will help you at least knock one of them off. Not only that, but because of the fact that you do get the knockup, sometimes you can just do it smiteless. The cooldown is relatively short on it.
yeah, I believe Zin's cooldowns are all in all kind of negligible because I believe it's his W that gets reduced cooldown or something when he attacks things.
I think that's
And
his I think that's his battle cry.
Yeah, that would be his W. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I don't play a lot of Xin Zhao. I do, however, play a lot of Jax, and I can tell you from personal experience, Jax is not going to have a fun time in top lane.
Oh no, Olaf, you can dodge as much as you want. Olaf is still gonna hit you with his true damage.
He
What I'm
is a
really
mad
concerned
Viking.
with is that Doyoga is getting really low in the jungle right now.
Indeed, but then that's generally how Mundo's first clear works, and after he goes back and buys his initial item, he'll get some mana regen, he'll have some levels, and then he'll just run through the jungle and not care.
See, here's where that starts actually helping Xin Zhao a bit. Because of the fact that he had the knockup and everything else ready, he's just life stealing off it now. He barely needs the pots. That's what makes him such a strong jungler.
And speaking of starting items, we see the supports started with their standard support affair. Ziggs and Nidalee actually starting Doran's rings. Junglers starting just regular machete pots, as standard can be. Jax and MF actually starting flask pots. Whereas Olaf started cloth armor pots and Caitlyn started boots pots.
See, I can actually understand why Nidalee would want to start the Doran's Ring in mid lane. Boots aren't really... You can still start Boots, and it's still a very smart start. But at the same time, because of the general speed increase for all champions, you really don't have to start Boots, and you can get a little bit of extra damage if you feel comfortable.
I would think though that both mid lanes would want to start boots because they'd want that extra speed to help dodge the enemy team's skills because both of them in mid lane are just pure skill shot.
We do have Zipa trying to come in on Crystal Soul here, and it looks like Xin Zhao might actually get the knockup, but the first blood might actually go down on Jax if he's not too careful with this. And is he actually going to get this? Can Paladin get this?
No, it doesn't look like it. He's going to get out by the skin of his teeth.
Paladin's going to get out of there, but now we do see Mundo
we have
making his
Mundo
way
coming up.
Mundo could very well pick out the first blood here if Jax isn't careful. He has no idea he's there. They know where Xin Zhao is. They're pinging for Xin Zhao, but they're not going to go in on this.
He's waiting for Jax to show himself so he can pop out and kill, but at the same time, Xin Zhao's waiting for Olaf to show himself.
They don't know Mundo's there, though. That's going to be the changing factor in all this. And if they don't know he's there, it's going to turn out really, really bad.
Indeed. Xin Zhao looks like he's going B. Jax is just chugging down pots. He's got almost half his HP back. They're just going to forget about this for now because they've got a nice big minion wave pushing at that top tower.
Yes, they do. If you look down mid lane, so far it looks like Nidalee is not really keeping up with Ziggs, but then again, it's Ziggs and he has a little bit of early mana regen right now from this and his masteries.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that Nidalee is able to push Ziggs, because Ziggs has a ton of AoE wave clear.
Ziggs is arguably one of the best clears in the game.
Yeah, just throws out 2 spells, boom, minion wave is gone.
The other person I think would give him some competition though is Malzahar just because of Malefic Visions.
True.
Very nice spears toss though. Very nicely done.
Oh, flash, but doesn't quite get the ignite off.
If the ignite had gone off.
Kill.
Yeah, but right now Mundo's just there, and I have to admit I'm really impressed with this Nidalee spear throw so far.
And Mundo has to back off as well before Nidalee just jumps up and executes him.
I don't think he's missed a single spear yet.
I haven't been paying attention to the spears thrown, admittedly.
Like, I've been paying attention. He's really accurate. So far, it's like I think on 100%, maybe a 90%. He might have missed one when I was looking up top lane.
I'm mostly looking wherever directed camera tells me to, and then when a gank happens, that's when I move.
We look down bot lane. We have a lot of aggression coming out from Nunu, but that's no surprise. And Taric is just wiping away. He can just heal himself and he'll be fine. The farm looking so far in favor of, actually, Caitlyn. Miss Fortune's really strong right now, but the last pod stars would probably keep her sustained. Other than that, Caitlyn's just pretty much farming up as she usually does.
Caitlyn can just sit at range and poke freely. And Miss Fortune can do about that.
The problem is now Ziggs has a chalice. And while Nidalee does have the sword boots for the extra pen, then with the new magic pen and armor pen changes, it does help. Ziggs can just infinitely throw his bombs now.
Indeed, that Chalice mana regen is really good. And the magic resist will definitely help against those Nidalee spears.
Very true. We look up top lane, so far Jax is not keeping up at all with Olaf. Olaf is just really, really hitting him hard, 47 to 20.
And Jax seems to be going for what appears to be fast Warmogs, I guess. I can only assume that's what he wants to make with that regrowth pendant and or regrowth bead and the health crystal.
It could always be Olaf.
Olaf, on the other hand, still not getting boots. Well, Jax isn't getting boots either, but Olaf is going straight for that brutalizer. I get the feeling he's going to want to finish that Black Cleaver.
Oh yeah, I would definitely suggest finishing the Black Cleaver. Although with Olaf, it's a little bit more flaky because you can I would suggest probably Warmogs first. You're not going to have the damage, but your true damage makes up for that early game. If you look up top lane, we do have a confrontation between Olaf and Jax, and Olaf just showing why you don't try to fight him as a Jax. Look down bot lane though, and it looks like first blood went to Nidalee.
Indeed. And I ended up missing it, unfortunately.
Oh, you can always just rewind and do that. And this
I could. Oh my god, the spears!
The Nidalee spears coming out from
looks like we're gonna have second blood here.
Amazing! There's another kill for Pudgy.
And Nunu needs to get out there before he becomes the victim of yet another Nidalee spear. And that gave Nidalee double buffs. That
looks
is
like Nidalee's
not
actually gonna
that is not what Ziggs wants to see.
No, Ziggs does not want to see that. Nidalee she has 2 kills, and that's more to make up for 13.
And Olaf coming down on Jax, throwing his axes.
And Xin Zhao's right there. Xin Zhao's trying his best to get up there to help Jax, but I have to admit, Deepak so far is actually holding his own against Crystal Soul.
Well, Jax is tough if you try to fight him straight on.
Oh,
Olaf
Olaf
can
is
do
diving.
it.
He did not know Xin Zhao was right there, and I think the ulti missed.
No, I don't know if the Xin ulti missed, but it doesn't matter. Xin is still going to be able to pick up the Olaf. Would have been actually better for Olaf if he had actually just saved his ult, because there wasn't really any way he was going to be getting out of that. And apparently Nunu crashed at some point. I just got a flood of text on the chat there.
Yeah, I did. There might have been a pause called and we didn't see it.
Yeah.
But Nidalee just forcing Ziggs of all people off lane.
Well, it takes like 2 or 3 Nidalee spears. That's it.
He's been hitting him at max range too.
Yeah. Very painful. Very, very painful.
Budgie is really holding his own here, showing us exactly why his Nidalee was banned throughout all those games.
Miss Fortune and Caitlyn both picking up BF swords, but while Caitlyn only has 3 pots, MF actually has 2 pots and a flask, so her sustain is going to be quite a bit better.
Not only that, but she also has a Taric.
This is true.
More armor, more heals. And all you hear is Full Metal Gambit just doing the classic robot Nunu laugh.
Robo Nunu, too good.
Nunu bought best skin, NA. Look down mid lane once again. It looks like Nidalee is just really having her way with the Ziggs. Oh,
And down on bot lane, Caitlyn almost dying to the Misfortune.
Just
barely managing to get out of range of her ult.
oh, she stayed way too long. Tara can easily get the stun on that one. Misfortune just needs to
There's
double
the stun,
up.
and there's the
we
double
go.
up for the kill.
Even if you had flashed away from that one, it wasn't going to save him.
Nope.
Because there's no disjoints in this game unless, well, they outdo in disjoint.
Yeah, disjoints don't exist in this game except when they do.
If you need reference, look at Shaco.
Yeah, Shaco's ult is one of the few actual disjoints. I believe Vlad's pool counts, and Ziggs, or not Ziggs, but
Fizz.
yeah, Fizz's pole vault. Yeah, that's. And then Arcane Shift sometimes is a disjoint, and then sometimes isn't a disjoint. It's weird how that interacts with some things.
It's actually rather funny sometimes too.
And Taric going up for another stun on Caitlyn. Not going to be able to get a kill out of that, though, unfortunately.
They got pretty close though.
Pretty close. Meanwhile, at top lane, true damage coming down on Jax's head.
Yeah, there's just nothing Jax can really do against this. I mean, you could try to farm a turret, but then Olaf is just gonna dive on you. Like right there, Olaf can
Nidalee might
dive.
be in trouble because Mundo's coming in.
Oh, Nidalee's running,
Nidalee's
but
just
the
gonna
bush.
hop away. And there's Xin Zhao. Oh!
Oh!
That spear would have been spot on, but he was just a smidge out of range. But it looks like we're going to be seeing a kill anyway.
Nidalee's just going for it.
Oh,
Another
see a
missed ulti
spear?
by Xin Zhao.
Nope. Missed spear.
Oh, missed spear. But another ulti by Xin Zhao. He's not really too accurate with those, and that's probably going to... Hopefully it gets better as the time goes on, but for now, he's not hitting it. We do have a turret down on bot lane. No,
Indeed.
mid lane, sorry about that.
Yeah, mid lane.
Look
Ziggs
down
has
bot
been
lane,
pushed to
though.
his turret constantly. I'm actually
Nidalee.
surprised. Nidalee's actually back there. Nidalee's not going to be able to pick up take part in the Caitlyn kill, but she is definitely going to take part in that. Oh
Very
my
nicely
god!
done.
Oh, there
Oh,
comes
no.
the Ziggs ult, but it does no damage because Ziggs only has double Doran's for hit AP. So
And if
sad.
he had a fiendish codex, he might have been able to do something with that.
Or just a needlessly large rod of compensation. Or even if he had just Sork boots. He doesn't even have Sork boots. He has no penetration beyond masteries and runes.
I would have gone for the Sork Boots instead of another Doran's Ring because the Doran Ring stack Doran Ring and Doran Blade stack doesn't work as well as it used to.
Yeah, and he already has the mana regen from the Chalice. Really only one of those should be necessary. But I'm actually surprised that Nidalee was able to keep Ziggs pushed to his tower so often, considering he has that much mana regen, because he could just spam his bombs all day.
Usually by this time in the game, Ziggs has a lot more farm, but Nidalee's, I guess, just really instilling fear in Buffalo. Like right there, he could pretty much clear that entire wave out if he wanted to, but he's not really targeting his bombs too well. Alright, there we go, we had a
And
bit
yeah,
of
there's a bunch of disconnections going on.
Yeah, those are the DCs they were talking about as
Yeah,
well.
another pause would have been called, and then immediately resumed after they rejoin. This thing doesn't actually record pause time, so we don't have to sit here and wait for the pause to go through like we did